What's up, movie lovers? I'm Mike, and this is Gotta Love Them Movies. You guys, welcome back to Gotta Love Them Movies, your daily dose of movie news. I'm your host, Mr. Mike Brown. I'm here all the time. And guys, today is a glorious Tuesday afternoon here in New York City. It's cold, it's chilly. Everybody differs on cold versus chilly. I say it's chilly outside, but it's also registering as like 41 degrees outside, it's fairly cold. So it's cold outside, but it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, not a cloud in the sky. And you guys, there's been a lot of kind of news that has dropped over the past few days. If you saw the show yesterday, Karen Alty says, "Good day, Mike." Good day, Karen. How are you, my dear? Long time no see. Karen is a longtime flight attendant friend of mine. Of course, we don't talk about what company we work for, but we have flown together in the past. In fact, fun fact, Karen and I went through flight attendant training together. Just a wonderful, all-around, lovely woman. So thank you for joining us, Karen. And I hope you stick around because we've got 6 different topics, 6 big things to talk about today. If you clicked on this video, chances are very likely you saw the caption headings. We're going to talk about Thor 4, Thor Love and Thunder, the Moon Knight series debuting on Disney+. There's a little casting news there. The Matrix 4 gets a new title. Godzilla vs. Kong gets bumped up from its previous release date. There's another Dungeons & Dragons movie in the works, but this time being penned by the same guy who wrote John Wick. And, of course, more news, more dramatic news on the Zack Snyder front of the Justice League. So anyway, guys, Karen sends in a whole bunch of love emojis. Well, Karen, thank you for that, and love emojis right back at you, my dear. All right, guys, so before we get into all of our major movie news today, first of all, if you haven't already done so, please head over to youtube.com, type in Gotta Love Them Movies. In the top right-hand corner of the screen, you're going to see a little red square. When you click on that red square that says subscribe, you will subscribe to the channel. There's no other way to say it. And I very highly encourage you to do that, because here's the thing, guys. With the more subscribers the channel receives, the more watched content the channel receives. And with the more watched content the channel receives, I get to earn ad revenue, making this show my full-time job. So I very much appreciate your love and support going over and clicking that red subscribe button on YouTube. And of course, as soon as YouTube gets 1,000 subscribers, the live portion of the show will move from Facebook to YouTube. So just something to keep on your radar there. All right, guys, now it's time to jump over and take a little bit of movie news.
What? What?
All right, you guys, like I said, there's been a whole bunch of movie news jumping today in the past few days. Anyway, so let's jump into the first of it. Like I teased before, we're going to talk a little bit about Thor, Love and Thunder, more so the casting announcements of Thor, Love and Thunder. Now, this needs to be prefaced by saying this is not an official announcement, but it's pretty much, the studio has not confirmed it. Let me just say that. The studio has not confirmed it, even though the Australian Prime Minister has. Here's what's going on, you guys. Okay. So, Matt Damon, we all know Matt Damon. He's a national treasure. He's a love, right? So, in Thor Ragnarok, the third Thor film directed by Taika Waititi, Matt Damon plays a kind of a cameo where he was in like a, what do you call it? He was an actor in a play within the movie, kind of playing out the role of Loki in a play within the movie Thor Ragnarok. It's very meta, but it was very fun. It was very fantastical. It was silly. It was awesome. So Matt Damon, it is being reported, has just landed in Australia. Here, let's jump into the article for a second here from Deadline. So Matt Damon is seemingly set to return to the MCU in Thor: Love and Thunder. Damon recently touched down in Australia, where he is in quarantine ahead of the shoot. It's not clear at this stage whether the actor will be back for a cameo or a bigger role. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison confirmed the casting, saying, quote, "Hollywood superstar Matt Damon joining our homegrown talent to film such a major movie in NSW is a big win, creating thousands of jobs for locals." And then Matt Damon went on to say that he will be in Australia for the next few months. He goes on to say, quote, "Australian film crews are world-renowned for their professionalism and are a joy to work with. So the 14 days of quarantine will be well worth it." That is a quote directly from Matt Damon. He goes on to, say various things, about being in Australia and all that stuff. Here's the thing, you guys. Here's the thing. Matt Damon flying from LA to Sydney. That's what, a 14-hour flight? 13-hour flight? You don't fly 14 hours on an airplane and then quarantine for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 14 days of quarantine to film a cameo in a movie. You just don't do that. I mean, I would do that because I'm a nobody. I would love to be in a Marvel movie. I don't care what the cameo would be. I would do that. Matt Damon, however, Matt Damon does not do that. The article points out that they're not sure if it's going to be another cameo or if it's going to be a more substantial role. I have a feeling this is going to be a more substantial role for Matt Damon. Is it going to be the same role? Is it going to be the same character, just with a bigger part from Thor Ragnarok? Is he still going to be the Asgardian actor that we saw in Thor Ragnarok? I don't know. Maybe. That would kind of be fun to explore that character maybe a little bit. I don't see this as being like a small little cameo thing. 1 day's worth of work. I mean, that's okay. Let's just say 2 days. 2 days worth of work. You don't fly 14 hours to Australia and then quarantine for 2 weeks only to work for 2 days on a measly small, like, yeah, it would be funny. I don't see this happening. I do not see that happening. But yeah, so, I mean, Matt Damon is confirmed. He's going to be in the movie. What role? We have no idea. We don't know if it's going to be a big part, a small part. I speculate it will be a much larger role. Because, I mean, come on. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think of Matt Damon joining the cast of Thor Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder? Do you think he's going to have a bigger part, or do you disagree with me a little bit and think, you know what, come on, Matt Damon. Matt Damon has been in, this will be his third MCU debut. He was also in Avengers. Oh, hang on a second. No, he was in Deadpool. He was in Deadpool 2. Sorry. So this will be his second MCU debut. His third Marvel debut. Was Matt Damon in any other Marvel movies? I know he had a really tiny, small cameo bit part in Deadpool 2. Obviously, Thor Ragnarok, and now he's coming back to do Thor Love and Thunder. Do you think it's going to be a bigger role, a smaller role? What do you guys think? Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, guys, our next bit of movie news today comes in the form of MCU television news. And you may have already heard of this, but Ethan Hawke. What a talented actor, that man. Ethan Hawke is joining the cast of Moon Knight, reportedly as the show's main villain. Now, let's think about this for a second. Let's think about this for a second. Think about the impact here. Like, we already know that Christian Bale is joining Thor Love and Thunder. Like, crazy talented actor. And when you look at Moon Knight, Moon Knight was already cast with Oscar. In fact, you know what? Here, I made a little graphic. Let's jump into the graphic, shall we? There you go. Look at this lineup, you guys. Oscar Isaac, who's cast as Moon Knight, he has 70 nominations and 50 wins. No, this is not Academy Award stuff. To my knowledge, there's only one Academy Award winner on this list, and that is Ethan Hawke himself. But think about that for a minute. Of all of the film festivals, of all of the smaller film festivals, even bigger film festivals, other awards ceremonies like the Golden Globes or, I don't know, the BAFTAs, like whatever, Oscar Isaac has been nominated 70 times. And of those 70 nominations, he's won 50. He's won, like, think about that for a second. That's crazy. Ethan Hawke, now cast as the main villain. Think about this. Ethan Hawke has had 206 film nominations, whether it be Golden Globes or BAFTAs or various film festivals or whatever. 206 nominations with 67 wins. And of those 67 wins, he's won 4 Academy Awards. Ethan Hawke has 4 Academy Awards sitting on his mantle right now. 2 for acting, 2 for writing. Crazy. Let's move on. Mohammed Daib, who is one of the directors on the films, he on the TV show, he's been nominated 24 times, again in various like smaller scale. Mind is going blank right now. Film festivals or other like Golden Globe, like that kind of stuff. 24 nominations, 12 wins. And that is just with 2 films. 2 films. Those 24 award nominations and 12 wins are spread across 2 movies. Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson, directors, and I believe they're also producers. They work together, maybe not exclusively, but on their 30 award nominations and 8 wins over the course of 4 films, these 2 guys have had so much experience and so much notoriety and credibility. Doug Manouche, I don't know how to say his last name. Doug Manouche. I'm just going to call him Doug Manouche, who is the writer and creator of Moon Knight. Was a writer on Harley Quinn, the animated series on HBO Max, 2 seasons worth. If you have not seen Harley Quinn, it is brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. Jeremy Slater, who is the producer and showrunner on Moon Knight, he created Umbrella Academy. He created the Exorcist television series. Now, we never saw Exorcist. I'm not into that scary kind of stuff, but people praised it. Exorcist, from what I've been observing and hearing and whatever, people like the Exorcist show. He created that. He created the Umbrella Academy. He's going to be working as the producer and the showrunner, of course, alongside Kevin Feige, MCU, like, awesome guy. I don't know what else to call him. Look at this list. Moon Knight, the television show. I mean, I was always intrigued by Moon Knight. Long before the TV show was announced. I was always intrigued by Moon Knight. I was never that drawn to Mark Spector. Mark Spector is the character who plays Moon Knight. I was never drawn to him that much. I always saw him as like a Batman knockoff, which a lot of people say. A lot of people say that Moon Knight is kind of like a Batman knockoff. It's like Marvel's version of Batman. Okay, blah, 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 whatever. But when you look at the stuff, the subject matter, and look at the people that they're getting to be in this show, be a part of the show, to write the show, to direct the show, to star in the show, this does not guarantee the Moon Knight is going to be incredible. Not at all. But if you want a show or movie to have the best chance at succeeding, you get ridiculously talented people. Ridiculously talented people who know what they're doing to work on your show, to work on your movie. And that's what Kevin Feige has done. Look at this list. It's incredible. And there's more people. There's more people working on this, obviously. This is just a short list. It's a short list, but it's a good list. Anyway, guys, Ethan Hawke joining the cast of Moon Knight, I think, is absolutely incredible. Who knows? Because again, it's all speculation. We don't know what character he's going to be playing. That hasn't been announced yet. But I will be waiting with bated breath to see where this goes. I'm very interested to see the show. Like, the casting alone gets me like ridiculously excited. So anyway, question is for you guys: what do you think of the casting announcement of Ethan Hawke joining the cast of Moon Knight? Does it get you excited? Are you meh? Are you not a huge fan? I'm interested. Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, our next bit of movie news today to cover is The Matrix 4. Now, Matrix 4, directed by Lana Wachowski, obviously starring Keanu Reeves and Carrie. Oh man, why can't I think of Carrie's last name? You guys know who I'm talking about. Coming back, Lawrence Fishburne, like everybody's coming back. But the biggest news today is that the official title of the film is not going to be The Matrix 4, but rather it is going to be called simply Matrix. It's simply just going to be called Matrix. Okay. Cool. But in that, I feel like this raises a few issues. I feel like it raises a few problems. Dropping the article "the" and dropping the number 4, or even just giving it like a subtitle, like The Matrix probabilities. I don't know why. Let's just call it The Matrix probabilities. That's what we're going to call it. The Matrix probabilities, right? Instead of The Matrix 4, it's now The Matrix probabilities. It implies a few things. By dropping the title, the article "the," and just going from The Matrix to just Matrix, it does two things. First of all, in the social consciousness, it's just going to like screw everybody up. Oh, you're going to watch Matrix? No, I'm watching The Matrix. Wait, is it the first one or the fourth one? The fourth one. Oh, no, so you mean Matrix? No, I'm going to watch The Matrix. Oh, so you mean the first one? No, I'm watching the fourth one. Matrix. Oh, so you're watching The Matrix? Yes. The fourth one? Yes. It turns into this weird Abbott and Costello bit of, like, I hate it when movies try to, like, rebrand or whatever. Or, okay, if you're, like, take Suicide Squad versus The Suicide Squad, all right? I don't mind that James Gunn is doing a reboot called The Suicide Squad. And here's why. It's a reboot. It's a complete... they're throwing out everything of what we knew from Suicide Squad, the 2016 Suicide Squad, and he's rebooting it, and he's just rebranding it The Suicide Squad. Okay, cool. It has a different logo, it has different actors, it obviously has a different director. I mean, okay, great. Harley Quinn is still in it, played by Margot Robbie. Cool. It's a completely different thing. And very few people are going to confuse Suicide Squad with The Suicide Squad. Now let's go back to Matrix. Matrix stars all the same characters in all the same roles, continuing on the story that was left before. This is the same problem that I have with the movie Scream. Oh, you mean Scream 5? No. Scream. So Scream 1? No. Scream 5. But Scream 5 and Scream 1 have the same name. So is it Scream 5? No, it's Scream. It's just Scream. It's a little confusing. So let's take that and just push it aside for a second. Just calling it Matrix is a little confusing. Let's push it aside. The other problem that I see, not necessarily a problem, but the implications of calling it simply Matrix as opposed to Matrix 4 or the Matrix probabilities. I see this going in a very different direction. Let's use the Pirates of the Caribbean movies as an example. So you have Pirates of the Caribbean 1, 2, and 3, which all followed the same storyline, right? And then Pirates of the Caribbean 4 came out, and yeah, it still starred Captain Jack Sparrow, but it was a completely different movie. It didn't have anything to do with the stuff that came before. Yes, I understand. Jeffrey Rush was in that movie as well, reprising his role. Same thing with Pirates of the Caribbean 5. Just its own standalone adventure that was referenced or loosely tied into the stuff that came before. But again, really going back to the name of it, this is where I feel like the Pirates movies were terrible. They're all terrible except for the first one. The first one is amazing. Don't even waste your time watching 2, 3, 4, and 5. Cool. But by not rebooting, but like kind of having its own standalone adventure, they still gave it its own proper title. They didn't just call it Pirates of the Caribbean. It was Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, or Pirates of the Caribbean. Was it Dead Man's Chest? No, I think that was 2. I don't know. I don't remember. Whatever it was, whatever it ended up being. Oh, now this is going to drive me crazy. What was the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie? I don't remember. Anyway. But just simply calling this movie Matrix it starts giving me the idea that this is going to be its own standalone thing. It's not going to be tied into the other Matrix movies. It is, but the story is just going to be its own self-contained thing. That's my personal thought. That's my personal theory on it. But the big question for you guys is, what do you think of Matrix 4? Do you like the title? Does it bother you? Does it not bother you? Do you think this is a smart and clever marketing ploy, or do you think it's just too confusing and they should call it the Matrix probabilities? Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, our next bit of movie news today, again, you may have heard of this. Godzilla vs. Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong. It's coming, and it's coming faster than we thought. Originally, Godzilla vs. Kong was set to come out both in theaters and on HBO Max on the same day in May. However, you guys, let's rewind for a second. Do you guys remember back in when was it? Do you guys remember? It was like a month ago, something like that, when Warner Brothers and HBO Max made this big announcement that, they're dropping 17 new movies on their new streaming platform, and HBO Max. And sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. So they made HBO Max and Warner Brothers and made this big announcement that they're dropping their entire 2021 slate on HBO Max on the same day that their movies are coming out in theaters. Well, this upset a lot of filmmakers and studios and theater chains and a lot of people, especially Legendary, who financed 75% of Kong versus Godzilla. Warner Brothers didn't even have any sort of a conversation with the people who financed the film, who got the film made, right? They just said, hey, thanks for helping us make our movie. Hey, guess what? We're going to cut you out of this deal. A few months prior to that, Netflix approached Warner Brothers and said, hey, listen, we're going to give you $200 million. We're going to give you $200 million if you agree to release Kong versus Godzilla on Netflix. $200 million. And Warner Brothers said, "Oh, we're not going to go for that. If that's the deal that you want to make, negotiations will begin at $600 million." And Legendary looks over at Warner Brothers and they're like, "Yeah, you're going to make us money. You're going to make us money." Because that was the intent at the time, right? That was the intention. We're not going to settle for $200 million to stream it on Netflix. We're going to hold out for theaters and we're going to hold out for the big money. That's what they said. Then fast forward, no conversations were had, no conversations were made, and Warner Brothers just announces, "Hey, we're going to release Kong versus Godzilla. Godzilla versus Kong. We're going to release Godzilla versus Kong out on HBO Max the same day that it comes out in theaters," which at the time was in May. And Legendary Pictures has that record scratch moment. They go, no? How about no? How about you didn't consult us? How about we had no idea this was happening? No. So ever since then, Legendary Pictures and Warner Brothers, they've been in negotiations with each other, and they've finally reached an agreement. It's all been behind closed doors. We don't know the terms of their new agreement, but they've reached a new agreement where Legendary is allowing Warner Brothers to release Kong versus Godzilla. I keep saying it backwards. Godzilla versus Kong out on HBO Max the same day it comes out in theaters. We don't know what percentage Legendary is receiving, but I assume they're going to be receiving a larger cut than they previously agreed upon, because it seems like Warner Brothers kind of broke their agreement with Legendary. Anyway, so now Godzilla vs. Kong is coming out on HBO Max March 26th. Is that what it is? March 26th? Here, let's have a look-see. March 26th. There it is. Warner Brothers and Legendary Film opens March 26th, both on HBO Max and in theaters. I'm kind of excited to see this, you guys. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun. Do I think it's going to be a good movie? No. What was Kong Skull Island? It was okay. The 2014 Godzilla, it was okay. 2018's Godzilla, it was weaker than the other two. Whatever, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's just, it's going to be popcorn fun. And here's the thing. I think a lot of people are they put a lot of stock in this. A lot of people online I'm seeing are kind of expecting Godzilla vs. Kong to be a good movie. I don't think it's going to be a good movie. I think it's going to be a stupid, silly, ridiculous, over-the-top monster movie. I don't think it will be a good movie. I think it should be fun. That's the kind of point of it, right? Hopefully it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing it, only just to turn my brain off and enjoy just the ridiculousness unfold on screen. Question is for you guys, what do you think of Godzilla vs. Kong? Are you looking forward to it? Do you think it's going to be a good movie? Are you going to see it on HBO Max, or are you going to try and go out and see it in theaters? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Obviously, if you've been watching the show, you know where I stand on watching movies in theaters. I'm a huge proponent. If you feel that you can do it safely, I feel like I can do it safely. You've seen other videos of mine that I've put out of, where I feel like I am being safe when I go to the theaters. I wipe my seats down, obviously mask, social distance. I bring my alcohol spray. I bring my disinfectant wipes. I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job at doing what I can spatially to be distant from other people. As well, be mindful of booking your ticket in a full theater. And these days, full theaters are 50% capacity, depending on the theater, depending on the chain. Some are less, some are 25% capacity. I'm okay with 25% capacity. I don't think I'm okay with 50% capacity right now. But, whatever you feel is safe, go and do that. Like I said, questions for you guys. What do you think? Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know those thoughts. All right, guys, our next bit of movie news today. I'm not, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. There is a Dungeons and Dragons movie, or rather series in the works, from the writer of John Wick. I feel like every couple of years, there's another D&D project, that comes up either in the movies or in, television. Again, this could be really cool. It could be really cool. This article from The Hollywood Reporter mentions the name of Chris Pine. I don't know why they mention his name, because it's the way they mention here. Let me jump into this real quick. Let's go into the web browser. All right, cool. So one of the writers from John Wick is penning a script for a TV show. Say even as Paramount and Hasbro's filmed entertainment studio E1 are in the casting stages of a live-action Dungeons & Dragons feature film, Hasbro and E1 is also laying the groundwork for a television series based on the fantasy role-playing game. Derek Kolstad, the creator and writer behind the John Wick franchise, has been tapped to pen and develop a pitch for a live-action series based on the Dungeons & Dragons universe. Moving down, affectionately referred to D&D, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, we understand what D&D is. Dungeons & Dragons. Paramount and E1 are also mounting a feature set to star Chris Pine that is due to lens later this year. So, okay, so Chris Pine is attached. Chris Pine is attached to the film Dungeons & Dragons that it's supposed to start shooting later this year. We'll see if that happens. I don't know. I'm a little dubious. Like I said, every few years I kind of feel like we go through this song and dance of, hey, Dungeons & Dragons. Hey, Dungeons & Dragons. And while Lord of the Rings revolutionized what a fantasy film could look like and feel like, and give it the epic scale and uniqueness that it did, or rather the genre, I feel like there's a certain quality to Dungeons and Dragons that needs to be experienced. And I'm not so sure that you can, of course you can. Of course you can write an amazing script and have amazing directors and have amazing actors and amazing producers and you can do everything right and have this incredible epic whatever, right? The question becomes, what makes it uniquely Dungeons and Dragons? Here's the thing. If you're not already familiar with D&D, D&D is a role-playing game. It's an imaginary game where, yes, you play characters, but you're sitting around a table rolling a die, and then you're discussing your ideas and your plans and your tactics and what it is that you're going to do out loud as a character. So, say for instance, if I don't know, here we go, Powdered Toast Man. There we go. Powdered Toast Man. Let's just say in D&D, I'm playing the character of Powdered Toast Man, and Powdered Toast Man is a wizard, right? Powdered Toast Man, as the wizard in this universe, I can, there is no physical action figure of Powdered Toast Man on the table. It all happens in my imagination. I imagine myself to be Powdered Toast Man, and I am a wizard, and in my imagination I find myself in front of an orc, and this orc is wielding a battle axe, and he swings at me. And these are all instructions given to me by the dungeon master, by the game master, whoever's running the game. You have one person in charge of the whole game, and then like 3 or 4 or 5, however many people playing this role-playing game, right? And then as the wizard, maybe I'll say something like, "Oh, I cast a spell that freezes the orc in space and time, and he will never be able to move again." And the dungeon master rolls the die, and depending on 1 through 20, he or she determines the strength of the spell that I just cast. If it's a 1, well then, I probably didn't cast a strong enough spell. But if it's a 20, boom. Orc is frozen forever. If it's a 19, maybe he's frozen for like 100 years and he gets to thaw out or something. I don't know. All based on the rules of the Dungeon Master, right? So that is the fun. That is the purpose of a Dungeons and Dragons property, right? I think it's the same problem that we find in video game movies. Why do video game movies not work? It's because it's the gameplay that makes it fun, that makes it interesting. I'm sure that they can come up with a really fun and creative and interesting story, but the thing that makes D&D so unique is the gameplay aspect, the imaginary portion. If they did it as like a choose your own adventure kind of thing, that could work maybe. I don't know. I don't know how Dungeons and Dragons themed film or television series is going to work. It could work, and it could work very well. I mean, like I said, I keep referencing Lord of the Rings, but that's like the quintessential D&D experience movie that we've ever had, or the closest thing to a D&D kind of movie, right? It could work. It could work really well. I just compare it to like video game movies and say it's the gameplay that makes it fun and unique experience. I don't know if they can capture lightning in a bottle. I mean, maybe. I hope so. They have talented writers. And especially with someone from the John Wick franchise, it sounds like this kind of thing could be high action, high octane. I don't know. I don't know. Question is for you guys. What do you think of another Dungeons and Dragons property? I mean, we've seen a few movies, a few television shows, animated, both animated and live action in the past. Most of them haven't worked, but do you think this could work? Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, guys, we have moved on to our last topic of the day. And that is this. Zack Snyder's Justice League. # release the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut of Justice League is now being reported that it's just going to be a 4-hour movie as opposed to 4 1-hour episodes as a series. I have a few thoughts on this. First, let's jump into the article here in Screen Rant. Let's scroll down for a minute. This is where the whole thing is coming from. So, Zack Snyder very famously gets on various forms of social media, and he has conversations with his fans. One of the fans asked, it was in a Q&A session. One of his fans at BC the Beast asks, "So is this still a series or a one-shot watch of a movie?" Zack Snyder replies, "One shot." He says one shot. Okay. So now it's being widely interpreted that is this going to be a 4-part series, one episode week to week to week, or are we going to get this like as a 1 4-hour movie? And people are interpreting the answer of one shot as a 4-hour movie. Here's where I stand. Based on this information, I think people are misinterpreting what Zack Snyder is saying. Now, I could be wrong. Let me preface it by saying I could be dead wrong in this regard. This very well may be 1 4-hour movie. Might be. I think people are misinterpreting what Zack Snyder said. Rather, I think people are misinterpreting what BC the Beast was asking. I think the spirit of what he was asking is this going to be a weekly series, like a mini series where we get one 4-hour episode a week? Or are we just going to get a 4-hour movie? I think that's the spirit of what BC the Beast was asking. But I don't think it was that same spirit that Zack Snyder caught on to. I think Zack Snyder was answering a different question, which is, are these going to be 4 episodes that drop week to week? Or are these going to be 4 episodes that drop all at the same time? And I believe Zack Snyder was answering that question. Are they going to be 4 episodes dropping all at the same time? And he says, yeah, it's going to be a one-shot. You're going to be able to watch the whole thing. It's going to be 1 episode, 2 episode, 3 episode, 4 episode, all the same day. And you just get to watch the whole thing as a one-shot. Now, am I misinterpreting what Zack Snyder is saying? Maybe. I very well might be misinterpreting what Zack Snyder is saying. I have a hard time believing that Zack Snyder got the green light from Warner Brothers, and by extension HBO Max, to make a 4-hour cut of a superhero movie that wasn't even that good the first time around. I have an extremely hard time buying that. That sounds drudgery. I kind of don't want to sit down and watch a 4-hour superhero movie, Superman movie, with Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman that wasn't even that great the first time around. Now, I understand. The first time around, it was like a lot of the movie was reshot by Joss Whedon. And he did his own thing. There was a bunch of Zack Snyder stuff there, but there was more Joss Whedon stuff there. And it wasn't that great of a movie. So when you ask the question, is Warner Brothers and HBO Max, are they allowing Zack Snyder to make a 4-hour cut? Again, maybe. I don't buy it. I still think that this is going to be a 4-hour cut broken into 4 1-hour installments. I think it's still going to have 4 episodes, or at least 4 parts. Maybe not episodes per se. It may just leave us hanging like Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring did, where you think the story is just going to carry on and it just abruptly stops. Lord of the Rings is an interesting case study here because it's one long story broken into 4 different parts. And there are 4 distinct beginning and stopping points, right? It just, Two Towers just picks up right from where Fellowship left off. And while, yes, an argument can be made that there was like a soft ending to both Two Towers and to Fellowship of the Rings, it still kind of had this weird abruptive stop to it. And I feel like that is what the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League is going to be. Yeah, there's going to be like a soft ending and then a soft opening, but really it's just congruous, right? That's what I feel like it's going to be. I have a hard time believing that it's going to be one 4-hour film. Now, there's something else that I want to touch on here. There's also a lot of speculation as to when this is coming out. People are saying, that it's going to come out in March, but then there's also conflicting reports saying that, like, no, it's supposed to come out in September of this year, of 2021. September and March is a huge gap, you guys, and March is just 2 months away. Is it possible that this is coming out in March? Yes, it is possible. But based on all the information that Zack Snyder has given us before, it seems like he has a lot of work left to do on this. It's not just, hey, we need to shift the music here and then add in this scene and then, put a little bit more music there and insert a few clips of, they're doing a few reshoots. We already know that they've done reshoots on it. Here, let's jump into this particular article. that talks about when is this coming out. Again, Zack Snyder being asked on social media about his personal feelings of the theatrical release of Justice League. He says he says that he's never seen it. He doesn't want to see it. And there's been a small amount of backlash. Well, how can you say you've never seen it if this is your movie? He says, I understand and of course respect your feelings, and I just hope that I can wipe that version out of existence with what you see in March. So, I mean, first of all, those are harsh words coming from Zack Snyder. But also, let's take his words for what they are. I want you to wipe that version out of your mind. I want to wipe that version out of existence with what you see in March. So something is coming in March. I hypothesize that it's going to be a trailer. I think there's going to be an incredible trailer, because the announcement trailer that we got before was just a cut of stuff that we've basically already seen before. And if we haven't seen those scenes before in the Joss Whedon version of the film, and it's all just, original Zack Snyder stuff, okay, cool, awesome. I have a hard time believing, and again, I could be dead wrong on this. I have a hard time believing that the 4-hour Zack Snyder Justice League epic drama superhero battle is coming out in 2 months, and we haven't had any announcements about it. Again, maybe announcements are coming. I just don't see it happening. I have a feeling with what he said, that he wants to wipe out the original version in March. I have a feeling that he's cutting together a trailer that is going to be so epic, that is going to be so memorable, that we're going to completely forget about the Joss Whedon version. Anyway, those are just my thoughts. I could be dead wrong on this stuff. I kind of don't feel like I am. I feel like everybody else is taking the stuff out of context. Maybe I'm just naive. Maybe I'm refusing to see the facts before me, and maybe these are black and white answers. Maybe Zack Snyder is releasing a 4-hour cut of Justice League, and it's coming out in under 2 months. Maybe. I don't see that being the case, but maybe. But what do you guys think is going on with Zack Snyder and the Justice League cut? Do you think it's going to be 4 episodes with soft closings and soft openings at the beginning and end of each episode? Or do you think it's just going to be a 4-hour cut? Boom, that's it, because that's what he said. I don't know. Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, guys, we have reached the portion of the show where we're going to jump in and take your live questions. Some of you have been firing in live questions and comments all show long, so now we're going to jump in and take those now.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Right. Some of you have been firing in live questions all show long, and by some of you, I mean primarily one of you, and that is a very good friend of mine, Karen Altis. Karen, thank you so much for being here, for being part of the conversation, for giving us something to talk about. And our first comment that Karen leaves is, "Good day, Mike." We already addressed this at the beginning of the show. Good day, Karen. Great to have you here. Thanks for being part of the conversation. She says, because Matt Damon is awesome. Yes, in reference to Matt Damon joining the cast of Thor: Love and Thunder, Thor 4. Like we said, he's gone down to Australia for a 2-week quarantine period to do a cameo. I find that dubious. But Karen seems to think, well, I don't know, maybe he is. And he would do that because Matt Damon is awesome. He very well could. I mean, I don't know what his schedule looks like right now. I don't know how much free time he has on his hands. But we also know Matt Damon said himself he is going to be there for a few months. You don't go to Australia for a few months just to do a cameo with your family. he's going to have a much more substantial role. So we'll see. Karen Alty said, I've met him in Newark Airport twice. He's the nicest guy. He seems like the nicest guy. As I aforementioned, Karen Alties and I, we work together as flight attendants every now and again, and that's great. That's great. I love hearing stories about other celebrities and how nice and kind and sweet and approachable they are. I've had my own experience where I've met, I met Nicolas Cage on an airplane. I met Kate Winslet. I had Julianne Moore on some of my flights. I even met the first celebrity I ever met was film historian. I can see his face in my mind. Oh, it's so frustrating when you can see someone's face but you can't conjure their name in your mind. Blank presents. He had his own television show on A&E. I keep wanting to say Norman Osborn presents. It's not his name. Obviously, the Green Goblin presents. It's killing me. Anyway? A film historian. I was completely gobsmacked. I love meeting celebrities on airplanes. Some of them are wonderful. Some of them not so wonderful. But yeah. Karen Alty says, can't wait for the new Matrix. I have mixed feelings about it. I loved the first one. The second one, I liked the first half. The second half of the movie I thought was garbage. And the third movie was just complete black to me. No thanks. So I don't know what to expect. From the new Matrix movie, but we'll just, have to wait and find out, right? Karen says, I think this will be explained when we see the film. I think you're referring to what is the new Matrix movie going to be about? Yeah, well, obviously, it's going to be explained when we see the film. Yes, of course it will. Karen says, it makes me curious because this is a smart group and there will be a reason for it. We shall see. Smart group is this? I'm confused if this is in reference to the Matrix, Godzilla, or Dungeons and Dragons. But even still, it depends on the film. All of it, though. It makes me curious. This is a smart group, and there will be a reason for it. We shall see. A reason, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about Matrix, then yeah. An incredibly talented and clever group of people working on that film. And there will most definitely be a reason for why it's called Matrix as opposed to The Matrix 4 or Matrix Propositions or, whatever. If you're talking about Godzilla versus Kong, yeah, same thing. It's there are talented people working on it. I just don't think it's going to be that good or quality of a story. I think it's just going to be a good popcorn flick. Dungeons and Dragons, however, again, talented people. They very well could make it work. We'll see. Karen Alty says 4 hours is a bit much, unless it's like the most amazing epic ever. Oh, I agree. Zack Snyder is a talented filmmaker. I don't think he's that talented of a filmmaker. I mean, he did really great work with Watchmen. Watchmen got a mixed reception. I never saw Legend of the Guardians. I heard that was really good. He did 300. That got great reviews. Yeah, I mean, even like Man of Steel was mixed. I don't hate the movie, but I also don't love it. BVS, I've come to my peace with BVS. I don't know. Karen says others have tried and failed. Yeah, that's I mean, I'm trying to think of another 4-hour movie. Nothing's coming to mind, but with other epics like It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, a comedy epic, not 4 hours long, but I believe it was in the 2.5, 3 hour range. Genius, pure genius. And it works. It also works because there's an intermission. You can have a longer first half and a longer second half. Gettysburg, same thing. Do you remember that epic of a movie? It had I think that was one of the last movies to have an intermission. And that was what, 90, it was early 90s, 93, 94, maybe earlier than that. I don't remember. But yeah, Gettysburg was one of the last movies to have a theatrical intermission. It was genius. But yeah, I mean, it also could work. The 4-hour Zack Snyder cut of Justice League could work if it is just one long movie, because for the simple reason that it's being released on HBO Max. You can start it and stop it whenever you want. It's not like a theatrical release where you are committed to staying in your seat for 4 hours. You can get an hour into it and then pause the movie, go away, make some popcorn, drive your car, go watch Fast and the Furious, come back, watch another hour or 2 hours of it. You get to watch however much of it you want at your leisure. You're not committed to 4 hours of it. I don't know. We'll see. Karen Alty says he's also gone out of his way to cameo for Kevin Smith. Slept on his couch. He's gone out of his way to cameo for Kevin Smith. Karen, can you qualify that for me? Like, are you saying Zack Snyder has gone out of his way to cameo for Kevin Smith? And also, have you slept on Kevin Smith's couch? That would be epic. I know you guys are both from Jersey. Maybe you have slept on Kevin Smith's couch. That would be incredible. I would love to see that. Karen, you went on to clarify Matrix is what you were talking about. He says Matt. Matt Damon. Okay. Matt Damon has gone out of his way to cameo for Kevin Smith. True. True. Matt Damon has gone out of his way to cameo for Matt Damon or for Kevin Smith in multiple roles in multiple films. Yes, but he also hasn't moved his family to another country for a few months to do it, with quarantining for 2 weeks on either end just to do it. It's a very different thing. Hey, do you want to come out? Hey, I'm filming this movie in Jersey. You want to come out and do a quick cameo for me? Because that's exactly what Kevin Smith sounds like. Hey, Matt Damon. Hey, I know you're from Boston. You're living in LA right now. Why don't you come out to Jersey? We're filming a movie. Why don't you come cameo for me? It's a different thing to fly from LA to Jersey for a day to film a cameo than it is to fly to another country for a few months. I think it's 2 months. I think it's 2 months that he's spending in Australia with a 2-week quarantine on either end. It's a very, very different scenario. Karen says Kevin Costner film. Kevin Costner film. It's a Kevin Costner film. I don't know what that's in reference to. Sorry. Also, Coppola had a ridiculous long failure film. Any great filmmaker. They can. Just because you've had a long stream of great movies. I cite Steven Spielberg all the time. Spielberg is a master at directing films. Doesn't mean that every one of his movies is genius. I'm looking at you, War of the Worlds. I don't know. He fell off my radar for a while. Coppola, let's see, Matt Damon. No, LOL, but I've met him. I have a friend who met Kevin Smith. They shared an elevator together. I've heard just the most wonderful things about Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is the kind of person that I would love to have his type of career. Someone who gets to do what he wants and he gets to do it his way. I understand that not everything that Kevin Smith has done has been gold. He's produced a lot of garbage, but he's also a fan favorite. and he makes the kind of stuff that he wants to do. And I think because of that, people see that. And whether you like his Jay and Silent Bob style of filmmaking or not, I mean, I'm not a fan of it. I kind of like the characters, but I don't like watching the characters, if that makes sense, you know? I don't know. I think Kevin Smith is prolific in that regard. Karen says, true, but maybe the Damon family will have a nice holiday. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Maybe they wanted to go to Australia for a 2-month holiday, just so that Matt Damon could have himself a really cool cameo in the next movie. I don't see it happening. I think he's going to have a more substantial role in Thor 4. But yeah, Karen, unless you have anything else that you want to add, I think we're going to wrap up the show. You guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for being a part of the conversation. Karen follows it up with Kevin Smith helped her son, Sean, direct a minute of a film when he was in 6th grade. What? What? Your son got directorial help from Kevin Smith when he was in the 6th grade? That is special. That is ridiculously special. Oh my gosh. Now I'm jealous of your son when he was 6. Man. See, that's what happens when you get to grow up in places that actually have people living in them, as opposed to where I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. You said good show. Well, thanks, Karen. Thank you for making it a good show. Thanks for giving us stuff to talk about and having interesting points of view, interesting insights. Karen follows it up by saying that she'll call me. Well, I look forward to your call, Karen. You guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for being a part of the conversation. If you like this video, please click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Powdered Toast Man would want you to do. Woo-wee! Anyway, guys, my name is Mike Brown. I'm here all the time. This is Gotta Love Them Movies, your daily dose of movie news. If anybody wants to send me an email, do so at gottalovethemmovies@gmail.com. Your questions or comments about literally anything movie related, I can use as main topics here on this show. So please send me an email and we'll make your question or comment a main topic here. You guys, we live in a weird, crazy world where everybody has their own thoughts and opinions, and sometimes those thoughts and opinions clash. So if you have an opportunity to infuse a little bit of kindness into the world, if you have an opportunity to speak kind words to each other, please take those opportunities. As always, in the words of Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other. I hope I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see what I end up doing flying wise. Hope to see you tomorrow. That's not what I meant to click on.